So this is the Sora V2 from Ninjutso. This has been one of the more hyped up releases we have seen this year so far, but does it deserve to be hyped up as much as it has been? Well, let's find out. In terms of the quality, the Sora V2 is pretty much perfect in all aspects. No flexing or creaking is present at all, which is pretty impressive for a mouse that comes in at only 40 grams. And that's all thanks to the internal structure that Ninjutso has designed for this mouse. The side buttons are held to the mouse with this piece of plastic that adds more rigidity to the sides of the mouse as well. The rest of the mouse is solid as well when it comes to the quality, but that is to be expected with these lightweight mice. The main switches in this mouse are the optical switches from Armon, and like I said before, these are one of my favorite switches when it comes to the actual feeling of them. They are very spammable and light. There is a very slight post and pre-travel on the clicks, but it's only noticeable when inspecting the mouse. The side buttons as well are pretty light and tactile. My only issue with the side buttons is how they don't stick out that much from the shell of the mouse, especially the back one. If you are someone that grips the mouse pretty far back, you might run into some issues with this. Pre-travel is pretty much not there, but they do suffer the same issue as the Spry mouse. Post-travel is pretty bad as the button sinks right into the shell of the mouse, resulting in an almost mushy feeling, and that's most noticeable on the back side button. But if you are someone that doesn't press the side buttons with a lot of force, they feel absolutely great. The coating on this mouse is pretty decent, but does not favor people with drier hands. It's one of those coatings that does take a bit to warm up. Once warmed up, the grip the coating gives you is adequate but not the best, so additional grips may be needed. So quality wise, the mouse is pretty much perfect, especially when it weighs only 40 grams. Performance wise, the Sora V2 is top notch. Inside the mouse, it's using a Pixar 3395 for the sensor and an NRF 52840 for the MCU. The mouse does support polling rates all the way up to 8000 Hz, but not currently. Ninjutso has confirmed that 4000 Hz polling support will be coming in the future and will work with the dongle that comes right out of the box. So you'll still need to purchase a separate dongle if you do plan on using the 8000 Hz option. Originally, you had to purchase a different dongle to use those higher polling rates, but now that won't be the case, so huge props to Ninjutso for that change. With the mouse plugged in, the polling rate is sadly stuck at the default 1000 Hz, which once again is quite disappointing to see. In game, I never really noticed any weird issues with the performance at all. It felt super stable and smooth in game. Now onto the things I do not like about this mouse, and that would be the shape of the actual mouse. I have been using mice like the Atlantis Mini and the X2H from Pulsar, and both of those shapes have something that the Sora V2 is missing, and that would be aggressive side curves. After using the mouse exclusively for a week or two, the missing aggressive sides was a deal breaker for me. It not only affected the comfort of the mouse, but also affected my aim inside of games as well, when compared to mice that are similar in shape and size. To put things into perspective, I primarily use an aggressive claw grip with 16.5 by 9 cm hands, and really struggled finding a grip that felt comfortable to me. Best way I can explain is that I felt like I was holding a bar of soap at times. For fingertip or relaxed claw grip, I can see this mouse being really good, but it all depends on how you grip your mouse and your hand size at the end of the day. With other mice with aggressive sides, I can easily pull the mouse into the back of my palm and put my fingers in a way that is comfortable. With the flatter sides of the Sora V2, I felt very restrictive when it came to the actual comfort of the mouse and my actual aim inside of games. The closest shape that compares to the Sora V2 would be the Atlantis Mini from Lamzu. The key differences between the two will be the sides of the mouse and the back hump. Flatter sides on the Sora V2 and the hump is a bit further back, resulting in a more roundish feeling in the hands, which will be perfect for a more relaxed grip style. By no means do I think the shape of the mouse is bad, it just isn't for me, but for some people they might find this mouse perfect when it comes to the shape of the mouse. All the settings of the mouse can be controlled through the web driver, so there is no need to download any software onto your computer to control the mouse. On the main page of the software, you do have the ability to change the functions of the clicks of the mouse, as well as seeing the battery of the mouse. On the second page, you have all the important things such as setting the DPI of the mouse and the polling rate. Like I said before, the polling rate out of the box is stuck at 1000 Hz at the moment, and with the mouse plugged in, it still stays at 1000 Hz. On the right, you do have the option to change the system mode, to lift off distance, and enabling or disabling motion sync. I have been running this mouse with the competitive mode, which should use more battery to give you more performance. With that turned on average, I was getting about 5 to 6 days of battery life, which is pretty respectable. Lastly, you do have the option to set up macros if you are someone that takes advantage of that feature. So is this mouse overhyped? I personally think just a little bit. For the price, the specs of this mouse are very impressive, but that only tells one side of the story. For me, the Ninjutso Sora V2 was very underwhelming, and I overall just performed better with other mice that were heavier as well. So maybe there is a point where mice are too light, and have we hit that mark yet?